I was sitting here this morning, having my coffee, watching some of my favorite YouTubers, give their crypto information, as far as like the cryptocurrency, DLT markets, things like that, right? And as I'm listening just to certain things and just putting multiple different videos together, I just have a question that I want to pose, or maybe not even a question, maybe just a thought, just to put it in your mind, you know what I'm saying? Because it very well could play out like this. So everyone is expecting that, the regular Bitcoin cycle, as far as, the 4-year cycle, the halving, all of those things that go into the Bitcoin halving cycles, which is of course, every 4 years. So we are all basing this bull run off of that, which is logical and it makes sense. But what a lot of people aren't taking into consideration is utility in motion. And this is what I mean by that. Of course, we all know this based off historical, points that by November, the year after the halving, is usually the tip and the top of where Bitcoin normally goes, which starts the beginning of what we know as, the bear market, which usually lasts for the time is going to last for until we go back into crypto spring, blah, 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 which we all know that. But is anyone paying attention to, okay, so we have November 2025. But then you also have certain standards that also have start dates around that time. So yeah, we might get that regular dip down that we normally get. And that dip down might last for maybe 6-7 months. But during that time, you have world players literally starting their own ramp of using DLT technology. And this is based off of when standards are going live, like ISO standard 222. And I'm more than sure TC307 will also be live and in motion by November 2025. So now think that you get to that point where everyone sells off and blah, 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 blah. And we think, we're getting ready to go into this big bear market for the next XYZ. And out of nowhere, you've had onboarding of major governments and major players like JP Morgan's Onyx and got also coupled this with, this is which crazy, global regulation also being set in place by then. Look at Micah, that's almost done. Like this is crazy. You have, I believe it is called Deploying American Blockchain Act that's going on right here in the U.S. Congress. You have the stable coin stuff. You have the DeFi acts that's being pushed through Congress. And most of these things are going through Congress bipartisanly. Now think about, we get to the point where everybody's selling off their bags, their HBAR, their XLM, their XDCs, all of these, their XRPs, their Quants, all of these things. And then we truly see what utility in motion is when you have systems moving trillions of dollars, not in a year, not in a month, not in a week. We're talking daily. True utility in motion for some of the coins that will power certain distributed ledger technology. Come on down, baby boy. You're getting warm. It's going to be like something none of us have ever seen. And I really feel like a lot of us that have been really holding on for all of these years and bulls and busts and bear markets and all of those things, I really feel like most of us are going to be priced out and missed a bag thinking it's time to sell, because historically, based off of Bitcoin cycles, we're getting ready to go through a bear market without realizing that there's going to be decoupling from utility in motion tokens and Bitcoin. And this is why I say that. When you start getting major players moving trillions of dollars a day, that doesn't stop because a bear market comes. If you have companies using distributed ledger technology rails deploying their smart contracts. Business never stops. It's 24/7, 365. Hence the reason why they're moving to distributed ledger technology and leaving the system that they're leaving. I think people are going to miss an opportunity that is truly once in a generation, selling at time. And don't get me wrong, that 2025 bull run is going to be insane. And it's going to be money that we've never seen. But they're going to miss the true life-changing money when utility in motion kicks in and you have literally world governments. Look up TC307. Look who's already a part of that. That working group started in 2016. The working group of TC307, which is literally the standard for building on blockchain. It ended in 2023. When do you think the working groups go from working groups to actually implementation? Because think about it. This is how laws are created. You have a standard, and then they base the laws off of the standard. We now have a standard in place it ended 2023. Now you have a standard that all of your world governments can now start basing their laws off of to be cohesive with one another. People need to wake up. Quant network is insane. It is a once in a lifetime opportunity. So a lot of the other ones, your HBARs, your XLMs, your, XRPs, your VChains, like we're talking, amazing projects. But if you're looking at infrastructure, Quant Network is the infrastructure for the world. They have a partnership with, they've done working groups with the Bank of International Settlements. And if you don't know who that is, look it up. It is the central bank of central banks, including America's. They are basically the standard layer. Hey, this is what we're doing. Get into compliance if you're one of us, so we can all do business together. Look at what just happened with Enbridge, Project Enbridge. You had the AUE send China money, and it went through, let's just say, for people who are not crypto savvy, it went through a distributed ledger technology, rails. And when it left their shores and hit their shores, it literally transformed from their currency to their currency instantly. That just happened last week. Publicly for the first time, but it's been being worked on since 2016. People wake up. This is the opportunity of a lifetime. Somebody told me something, and I heard this, and I didn't quite understand it until seeing things like Crypto.com, seeing things like HBAR, seeing things like XRP, seeing like when you have companies like this that have a seat at the world's table, you got a World Economic Forum, you have to think about what's actually being put in front of you. And the statement is, listen, y'all, you never sell a monopoly. Will you take your profits? Absolutely. But the bulk of your bag, you never sell a monopoly. And the things that I'm talking about in this video are definitely monopolies. They will make you extremely rich if you just have the patience and guts to hold on, believe in what you hold, because of not what I'm saying, but look at what world governments and world leaders are saying on all of these multiple stages. The G20, the G7, the World Economic Forum. And if you don't know what some of these things are that I'm talking about, look them up, y'all, because the information is out there. We are getting ready to move into a digital age. And it is being built out as we speak on the backs of distributed ledger technology. They are decoupling that from quote unquote crypto. Crypto will not survive. Distributed ledger technology will power the future. Listen to Jamie Dimon. Listen to his words specifically. That's what most people don't do. They don't listen to words. Listen to people. Listen to what people say. Okay? So I done held y'all up for too long. That was just a thought. Like utility in motion. Honestly, just think about that. Think about you, because a lot of us already know about these standards. Now think about when these standards go live. And it's so funny that it coincides directly with the quote unquote peak of what the next bull market will be, which is November 2025. ISO standard 222. When does that officially go live? Think, y'all. Think. They gonna shake all y'all out y'all bags. Don't be wrong. Take profit. Don't get me wrong. Take profit. Don't sell your everything. I'm telling y'all. Because when utility in motion kicks in, it is going to decouple from the Bitcoin, telling you, bull and bear markets, because utility in motion is just that, utility in motion. Utility in motion doesn't stop. Do you think that they are going to allow banks, central banks? Look at all the central banks that Hong Kong monetary. Look at all the central banks that are building on distributed ledger technology. These things move daily. Money never sleeps. And this is why they're moving to distributed ledger technology, because right now in the current system, money sleeps from Friday night till Monday morning and every night after 5. Money sleeps. They don't want that anymore. They see what distributed ledger technology can do, and it is literally 24/7, 365 access to money and the power to move money. Now, whether that is business or whatever, whether that's, passing debt ceilings or whatever it is, having the power to move money at the speed of light. And this is the biggest part of it all, with like 0.0% of what you've been sending money for generations. It's going to change business. You know how much of the bottom line that they can start getting back from just sending money, literally because that one transaction was less than a penny, as opposed to a couple $100 million based off of how much you had just sent? 14%. Literally, this is H-bar, less than a penny. Come on now. Think about what's going on. Even XRP. Well, this might be a little controversial, what I'm getting ready to say. I love XRP, right? But Ripple is the meat. And can certain entities, this is my question, use Ripple's technology without utilizing XRP? That's my question. So, when if Ripple ever does IPO, I'm getting in that. That's my question. Can it survive without XRP? Because most of the stuff that I read, it says Ripple's name. It does not say XRP. But I'm getting off that. Don't come at me. I love y'all. I love XRP. Don't come at me. I'm just thinking outside of the box, because they think outside of the box. They don't play checkers. They play chess. Hence, look at TC307. I'm telling you, 2016. We now sit in 2024. They've been working on distributed ledger technology since, I'm talking world governments. Look it up. It's going to shock you, the names that's associated with and attached to that standard. And we plan year to year, day to day. And they've been planning this out since 2016, knowing that their working group would end in 2023, which it did last year. So come on, y'all, think. Let's go back to my regular point, utility in motion. And even more so, if you don't know what Quant is, look it up, Q&T, Quant. It is literally the standard for building on blockchain. Literally. not figuratively. And if you don't know how powerful a standard is, peep this. The iPhone 15 had to change their charger port. Why? Not because they wanted to. It's because their charger port, the new one, the one the 15 has, is the global standard. And they only had so long that they could buck against the global standard once it went live. And they had to comply if they wanted to do global commerce, because the standard is the standard. And that's what everyone has to abide by. There's multiple standards being built out about blockchain technology, distributed ledger technology. People wake up. These are the people that literally affect your every day of your life. Whether you know it or not, whether you voted for it or not, whether you voted for them or not. And right now, even here in America, we have 4 laws that I know of that's trying to be pushed through Congress right now. And it's bipartisanly. Okay, y'all? So that means both sides working together because they see how important this is. Because if they don't do this, they will be left behind because the other parts of the world either already have the infrastructure laid. Japan, telling you, the UK, super close. They already have one thing already signed. Super close to being done. Michael, that's the EU. Hell, Christine Lagarde is talking about a CBDC, live and live in color. So y'all wake up, y'all. There is an opportunity, but I honestly feel like we're going to get shook out our bags November 2025. And by mid-2026, after we got 6-7 months of true onboarding, because you think about it, they move slow. It won't be just a boom. It's going to be an onboarding. And think about what that's going to be 6-7 months into utility actually being in motion. These tokens actually being attached to smart contracts and have to be bought over and over and over again. Now think about that in a year. Now think about that in 2 years of utility in motion, of literally every transaction in the world. Because think about it, you have Larry Fink talking about tokenization. And that's just not talking about, stock, that's everything. That's property. That's fine art, it's fine wine, it's diamonds, it's everything. Will have its own on the blockchain. I know this sounds crazy, but when you have world leaders telling you something, you need to listen because they are the ones that shape your everyday. And trust me, when they say things like, oh, true mass adoption is everyone's using my technology, but no one knows it. That's a fact. They're going to do this so seamless and so smooth. It's going to be the same. It's already been done to us several times, but we don't see it because we're living through it. Like prime example. Now this will be a long video. Who cares? Follow me, okay? Prime example, right? Follow me. We went from being a cash-based society, and this is just in my lifetime, cash-based society, and then it was more so cash and checks. Then we got an ATM card. So meaning you didn't have to go and stand inside the bank line. You can just go right up to the ATM machine and get your money out, but that was just it. You could not swipe it anywhere. But then the ATM card got the Visa logo. Then you could start swiping it anywhere Visa was accepted. Then we went from the swipe to the first adaptation of the chip to the second adaptation of the chip. Now we at tap to pay. What is next? It is literally digital, you guys. But we have been going through this without even realizing because it's seamless. That's what he said. Y'all will be using my technology and nobody's going to know it because it's seamless. They've done it to us multiple different times in multiple different ways, even with what's going on with distributed ledger technology. Think about it. You have the layer of IBM, which was your first layer of dial-up internet. Think about this. But at that point in time, each state had its own internet, which means sometimes if you were searching something outside of where you were, you got an error message. And during that era of internet, you could only do two things, email and search. And you could only search if you knew the website specifically. Then after that, we had the era of where we sit in now, which is Wi-Fi, which is ruled by Microsoft. That HTTP:// thing that y'all see in front of everything y'all search, that's a standard, you guys. That standardized the internet, and that sits on top of the layer of IBM. Okay? So it was Internet 1.0, IBM, 2.0, Microsoft standard. Okay? Well, blockchain technology is the next layer of the internet. 3.0. Look it up, you guys. This is why every government in the world is creating laws and building out standards and then creating laws around the standards, because it's the next layer of the internet. Think about that. And you have a company like Quant Network, literally the standard. And they brag about it in every video, and no one truly feels the weight of when they say the standard for building on blockchain, because they are the standard for building on blockchain. So if you are an institutional player, you cannot buck against what the standard is if you want to do global commerce in the world. Think about that. Think about the weight of that. Think, y'all. Wake up. And I know this is a long video, and I'm sorry. I know I kind of went off on a couple different tangents, but it all ties into each other, because this transition is going to be seamless. And it's going to make a lot of people extremely, extremely wealthy. Listen to what global leaders are saying. Listen, y'all, because they telling us. Joe Biden signed executive orders for blockchain integration literally 2 years ago. He had a whole press conference about blockchain, distributed ledger technology, and how it is different from crypto. And when I say crypto, no offense, nigga, I was a part of the Shiba Inu community. But think, we talking Shiba, we talking Doge, we talking anything that doesn't drive real world utility. I'm telling you, it's not going to look good for it. Look at the stuff that's being pushed through Congress. Get on the backs of distributed ledger technologies, you guys, because that is the future. And with that being said, I love y'all. I hope I shook something inside y'all heads. May just make you see it just slightly differently. Think about it slightly differently. Not saying that we won't go through the same cycle as, with Bitcoin. We might, and we might go through the worst bear market we've ever seen and see the lowest of the lows that we've ever had. But just think about utility in motion, you guys. And think about after that initial dip, this is going to be a dip because everybody expects it. But think about after that dip, when utility in motion and these standards that are set in place to take place, at the same time, think about 6 months to a year of these things being actually used, not just talked about in news articles. Think about it. Think about why was Quant ingrained into UK finance? UK finance, think about what's going on, y'all. He still has a seat with the Federal Reserve. Look at his resume. Look at Gilbert Burdian's resume, you guys. It's a lot that I'm saying in this video. Hopefully I don't get in trouble for saying it because I'm putting too many dots together. But listen, and if you don't know who Gilbert Burdian is, he's the CEO of Quant Network. Look up his resume. Dude, he has held and still holds some of the highest positions in cybersecurity. He's a part of the Internet Engineering Task Force, you guys. And if you don't know what that is, it was established in 1986. It is literally the global security for the internet. They have been working with the IETF. So basically, I have the technology, which is the overledger, and now I'm working with the literally, because his background is cybersecurity for decades. In the highest ups, I'm talking Her Majesty's Treasury. I'm talking literally, it's insane. Look at his resume, y'all. And just think, this man is over this company. Then look at everything that's associated with this company. The Bank of International Settlements, the central bank of central banks. TC307. So that means I have your countries through TC307, which is a standard. And now I have the central banks because I'm working with them literally in my sandbox, Project Rosalind, to show you, hey, it's doable. Project Enbridge. In America, Project Hamilton. Look it up. I believe that was in September here in America at the Federal Reserve in Atlanta. They had the digital dollar pilot. Think about what's going on, y'all. It's a lot of money to be made. It's going to be trillions of dollars moving through this system daily. Do not get shook out your bag in 2025, your entire bag in 2025, because you will sit back and you will say, damn, I fucked up.